in. As I'm waiting for some people here, just in case you're joining this past the live and watching it on replay, um, no agenda today. Just coming on, chatting fallen angels, chatting presidents that were fallen angels or are fallen angels, chatting flat earth, chatting wherever the conversation leads us. It's kind of how I like to do these, just fly by the seat of my pants. A lot of people always have a lot of questions for me, so this is just a great way for me to kind of answer them. I don't get a chance to. If you ever saw my DMs, it's just a wild ride to live in my DMs, and I don't get to them very often because I get so many. But I mean, people request for me to try to find like loved ones that they think are still alive and maybe fake their deaths. Like I'm a PI. It's crazy. My DMs are crazy. So anyway, like I said, if you're joining and you're catching this past the live, no agenda. Wherever these lovely people that are joining me now take the show is where we'll go. I've got nothing specific I want to talk about. I just like chatting and seeing what questions people have for me. So people are filling up. Hey guys, welcome in. Hopefully some of you are coming from other platforms. I tried to advertise it at least an hour ahead of time today. Usually I'm just like, I feel like going live. Click. Today I knew I like to go live when I'm on a fast because I'm sharp. I like to answer questions, and I'm fasting right now, so I haven't eaten today. Not going to eat. Probably I'm not going to do a long fast. Probably just like a 40-hour fast, which I try to do at least once a week. But I really enjoy going live when I'm fasted because I'm just sharp. My body's not trying to process and digest anything, so I can just come on here and answer questions as best as I can. So, oh, awesome. From Portugal. I love seeing, like Uruguay and Portugal and all over the place. I love seeing people joining from all over this flat stationary realm we live in. Even if it's places real close to me, like Lake Wales, Florida. I don't know Lake Wales. I'm still venturing out to all the lovely places in Florida. I've only been here a year and a half now. Anyway, guys, I was telling anyone who's joining this after the live, just for people that are watching it post live, that I don't have an agenda. I don't have any direction I wanted to take this conversation. Just wanted to come on and answer some questions. So feel free to ask away. And I, the questions once, there's only 150 people in here now, but I think it will get bigger. So get your questions in now while there's fewer people. I love your show. It's very eye-opening. My brother is in the Army, and he was talking to the submarine captain and told him about the curvature, and the captain said, "What curvature?" That's amazing, dude. Thank you for sharing that, Eduardo. That's fantastic. Hopefully that opened your brother's eyes if they weren't already. I love that. And it's like these guys in the Navy and the Army and pilots, they can't really talk about it until they're out, unless they're high level dudes, because especially pilots literally have to sign like a form saying they're not going to talk about it. And it's like, it's sneaky, I think, because it doesn't come out right out and say it. But if you figure it out, it's like there's something you've signed that's like a kind of like a non-disclosure thing. My dog is barking. Do I think we're going to war? I think we're already at war, my friend. I think it's an information war. I think it's a spiritual war. Do I think there's like going to be a physical World War III? I don't know. I don't want to predict anything like that, but I think there are some big things coming on the horizon. I really do. I think there's some, the Ingersoll Lockwood book called The Last President. Well, that's Trump. I think Trump is the last president, and Trump is Lucifer, guys. And he literally saved the 250-year celebration of the short season where he was released from the bottomless pit. He saved the 250 years for him to be president during. Like it's so perfectly clear and obvious to me that Trump is literally Lucifer and that he's president now intentionally. It's been set in motion from the day he was released from the bottomless pit, the day they put that Statue of Liberty up with the unchained hook in it, from the moment he's been here. I think it's been in the cards. So I do think it being the 250 years since that happened, in my opinion, I can't prove that one like I can prove a lot of things, but I think there's some things coming. I don't want to predict what or anything like that, but there's some things coming, I think. All right, back to questions. What do I think about Kim Clement saying that God was going to use Trump? I mean, Kim Clement is not, he's just a false prophet. He's just what all these guys are. It's predictive programming. They know because they know the script. But I do, here's how I think God is using Trump. Like, I don't think Trump is Trump is the devil. And I don't mean that figuratively. Like, he's literally Lucifer. And if we are living in this short season where Lucifer and his fallen angels are deceiving everybody, well, that's being allowed. God's allowing that. So yes, God is being, or Trump, Lucifer, is being allowed to have this short season of deception. So in a way, you can say God is using him, and maybe it's just a literal test for all of us. Maybe it's a test to see what our souls will choose. Will we remember, who our Father is and choose him? Or are we going to choose the little g gods, all the fallen angels, like most humans choose? I would say most humans worship some sort of fallen angel unknowingly, celebrity, musician, athlete, over the Most High. Like the fallen angels are winning. They really are, because you can say there are so many Christians in the world, but how many of those Christians actually put their time and thoughts and prayers and energy on God versus whatever their distraction is of choice? TV, movies, music, sports, whatever it is. Let's see. In Ireland, we had rulers called the Tuatha Danann, which means the tribe of Dan from the Bible. It's crazy how they see the world once we wake up. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yeah, guys, I've only been fully awake for 2.5 years. Really, 2.5 years. Now, I figured out 9/11 wasn't what we were told 20 years ago, but that didn't lead me to have a full spiritual awakening. And yeah, the amount of, I've always been an all or nothing kind of guy. Like, if I'm into something, I'm fully in. So I went deep down the rabbit hole for months and months and months and months, didn't come out, trying to just get my bearings about me of what was true, who I could trust. And unfortunately, I trusted some people when I first woke up that ended up being Masonic deceivers and befriended me, I think, to try to maybe even be my handler or something like that. So there's 333 people in here right now, and it always freezes on that. Always freezes on that. Anyone who was in my live last time, it froze on 333 and 666, and there it goes. It just clicked. As soon as I bring attention to it, it always clicks over. And I know you guys can't see that, but it happens almost every time. It's wild. I lost my train of thought of where I was. Just going back to was it the Kim Clement thing? Kim Clement, by the way, I think is Michael Landon. I haven't done a video on that, but I've done some comparisons. Yeah, I think Michael Landon faked his death and became Kim Clement, and then faked his death again, and I don't know who he is now, but just something you guys can go look at for yourselves. I don't know if I'll ever do a video on that one, but let's see. Hit the like button, subscribe, share a comment, and blast out the good vibes. Hopefully, Richard, you're talking about me. That'd be awesome. I appreciate the support and the kindness. If you're just trying to get people to support me, I love that. Thank you. I always appreciate the appreciation. All right. While my eyes are still working, let's let the questions fly in here. COVID showed me that I can't trust my friends. Yeah. Um, Unfortunately, guys, it's weird. There's a spiritual block on people. I truly believe that. And I was talking to my friend Josh about this like just today. There's a little part of me, and I have no evidence to back this up. These are just my thoughts. There's a part of me that thinks that there are old souls here and there are new souls here. And maybe us older souls are the ones waking up. We're here for a different reason. We're here to, maybe help return the earth back to what it once was and help rid the place of fallen angels and the evil that they have just like trashed the earth with. And then maybe new souls are just here like, hey, like, let's party and drink and be with women and yada yada yada, pay attention to football and all this. And like, don't get me wrong, I paid attention to football and I drank and stuff like that, but like I was able to get out of that. And some people just aren't able to get out of that. And it's like maybe they're just here on a different soul mission. And I know that doesn't align with like biblical stuff a lot sometimes, but sometimes my thoughts just go there. And I'm a big believer that the Bible is truth, and I do think there's manipulation in it, like the names of God and Lord and even Jesus. And I do think, they took the firmament out. They took the word in earth away and put on earth. They changed alleluia to hallelujah. There's a lot of manipulation, but I still think the overall truth of the Bible is there. I really do. Breaking free completely feels impossible, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Yeah, like I've made so many changes in my life since I woke up, but I am not completely free. Like my job now is like what we're doing, and but that's not free. Like I am subject to these platforms. These platforms, like, got a stranglehold on me. Unfortunately, like they could push the button any day, and I'd have no income. I've done some things to hopefully remedy that if that does ever happen, but I'm not completely free. Like I sit here and I pay, and I still pay my taxes. I'm trying to figure out a way out of that, but the wife doesn't really, she's not really on board with that. So I'm still, I would hopefully 5 years from now, I'm a lot more free from the system than I am today, but I'm a lot more free now than I was 2.5 years ago. But yeah, so it's baby steps. Everything's baby steps. Everything, Marnie. Love seeing you on here. Thank you for the super chat. And again, Marnie just says, hi, Tyler. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate the appreciation, my friend, so much. It means the world to me, just knowing that there are people that appreciate, I don't want to say the sacrifices I've made, but the risks, like I risked all my relationships. I risked my job. I risked my mortgage, my pension, everything to just do what I thought was right. And that was to put truth out into the world through the internet, because I was trying to tell my friends and my family and coworkers, and no one was listening there. And I knew I just had to do it elsewhere. I knew the only place to do it was online. And, I sit here 2.5 years later with millions of people that follow me across the platform. So clearly my message is coming through loud and clear. And it was a scary time for a while. Like I had a 20-year teaching job I left because I couldn't be part of a system brainwashing kids anymore. So but I was posting while I was still teaching, risking potentially getting fired because I just thought it was the right thing to do. And I wasn't even teaching a single thing that I still don't hold true. I didn't have to teach a single thing of indoctrination or brainwashing, but I just couldn't be part of that system anymore. So, so when people like you, Marnie, just express appreciation, it means the world to me. And I don't need it to keep going, but it helps. Hey, Fart Tree's on here too. I love that you guys catch my lives without me even like advertising it much. You saw Clooney, I think. Have you talked to any of the celeb deceivers? Thank you for the live. Yeah, thank you again, Fartree. Thank you for the super chat. So I've been real close to Bill Murray and Michael Jordan and Mr. T and George Clooney and Vince Vaughn. Bless you. My wife sneezed. But as far as like a conversation with them, I'm trying to think. I've had a conversation with Mr. T, but I don't know, my guess is he's one of them. You're not getting in, you're not getting a TV show. You're not getting in the movie Rocky 3. You're not getting the A-Team show. So yeah. And he, he was a super nice guy when I talked to him. I met him when I was real young. He lived in my town, actually. I met him with my two brothers and my mom. And I've told this story before. It's a real quick one, but Mr. T had a white Reebok on and a black Nike on. And my younger brother thought that was so cool. So he went around for the next few months and did that. But, there's nothing there that would have. Now, maybe if I met him now with my information I know now and my knowledge now, but there was nothing to make me feel weird in his presence or anything like that. Same with Jordan and George and Vince. I wasn't super close to Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn went to my high school, and I was working at my high school when my high school decided to start an alumni hall of fame, and Vince Vaughn was inducted into the first alumni hall of fame. And while I was working there, they invited him, and he accepted the award, and he gave like a speech, and I went to that. I got to see that. But yeah, I mean, being in their presence, I haven't sensed anything, if that's what the question is, my friend. But thank you again for the kind words in the super chat. Let me see what this is. Sent 10 Fittest Flat Earther gift memberships. I don't know what that means, but this green thing, if you sent, my friend, if you were sending people that become members for me, that's so kind and awesome of you. Thank you, Melinda. That is so awesome. Really appreciate that. I think that's what that is. I think you just gifted people memberships to my members only. Guys, you should. I love YouTube. Like, YouTube is amazing because people are just like so supportive and kind, and it's like it's such a different platform. People are just in general, I think, more open-minded. But if you want to ever join anything that's like my subscription on Facebook or my membership on YouTube, I do recommend going to Facebook. It's cheaper than here. It's $1 cheaper. Only for the reason that I never changed the price, just whatever the platforms recommended. I was like, sure. Because I wasn't really doing it for the money when I first started. It was more about just getting more detailed information out, because I was going through some like really hard censorship, and they didn't seem to be censoring it as much in the membership. But Facebook is the place to be, because there is a group chat and a group posting area, and it's like there's a community there. There's a community of people that are always there, always chatting, always sharing, always it's great. So if you're considering joining that, and if you just want it for the extra content, do it anywhere. But if you want it for the extra content that I do and the community, go to Facebook for sure. Let's see. What else, guys? Lifted Heights, awesome. Lyons Township. Oh no, I was thinking my cousin teaches there, but he teaches at Leiden, not Lyons Township. That's really cool though. I was a 98 grad of Lake Forest High School. All right, back to the questions here. I see some flat Earth things. Any flat Earth questions, guys? I did. So one of my Facebook, and I'll talk about this for a second. One of my Facebook subscribers asked me if I would make a flat Earth video for his kids, for like I think 10 and 11-year-old kids. So I made a flat Earth video for kids today, and I haven't released it. I released it on TikTok, but I haven't released it on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of my other platforms. But I'm really excited about it because it's just it's different. It's not exposing evil. It's not talking about fallen angels. It's literally just trying to help kids see where we actually are. And I wanted to make it for everybody, and I didn't want to push my spiritual beliefs on people. I think most people who wake up to flat Earth do tend to believe a lot of the Bible, but I didn't want to push that. So I kind of just I led with, or I left it with, you know, someone created this place, and I'd like you to think about who. And I don't know. I'm excited for the video. I'm releasing it tomorrow morning. Make sure you check it out. It's and if any of you have kids out there and want to talk to your kids about flat Earth, I think it's a good, like, I don't push it, but I just give the other side of the story. And it's rare I say I'm proud of a video. Like, I feel good about my videos, but I'm proud of this one just because it's to help kids, and especially as a teacher, kids tug at my heartstrings. The veil is thinning. I think so. A lot of people are waking up. My friend, I don't really check DMs because it's an abyss in there. And like I said, I'm an all or nothing guy. The first several months that I had like a decent sized following, like up to like 50,000 people just on TikTok, I was answering every single DM that ever came. I would like spend 2 hours just responding to DMs, and I missed one day. And then I never caught up. I never caught up. And then, I spread from TikTok to all the other platforms, and it's just an impossibility now. And it's like, how do I go in there and like pick one or two or 50 when there's 500,000? Like, you would not, your mind would be blown if you saw not only how many I get, but what requests I get, different things. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's nothing but humbling. I just don't have that. If I spent more time in the DMs, I'd have to spend less time making content and trying to help wake people up and share the truth. So I don't go in my DMs hardly ever. Let's see what. KJ, any info on Jake the Awake, formerly Jake the A-hole? I don't know him. I've heard about. I don't know if he's a dude that maybe made one video about me and was like questioning my authenticity and stuff. I might be wrong, but I apologize, but I don't have. I'll look into him. I'll look into him after I'm off this live, but I don't have any offhand comments or thoughts on him. So no, I apologize, but I extremely appreciate the donation, the contribution, the super chat, whatever you want to call these things. Thank you so much. And I wish I had a better answer for you there, but I don't. "72 miles up is the dome." Yeah, I did a video. I think it's close. Like, a lot of people think that, and that's from the Go Fast rocket. I think the Go Fast rocket hit supposedly at 72 miles. But there's part of me that doesn't believe that Go Fast rocket video. I'm not sure if I do. It seems pretty legit. Like, if you watch it, it seems pretty legit. But I don't know. I think it's been a year or two since I really looked into it, but some of the things of who sent it up made me question it. However, when you look at 72,000 feet, and I've done a video on this, and then, other information we've gotten from other sources, and who knows if you can trust the encyclopedia, but the encyclopedia from 1958 said that in Antarctica, so like, if Arizona. I think Arizona is where the Go Fast rocket went off, which is pretty somewhat close to the north compared to Antarctica. So if it's 72,000 or 72 miles up here, and then it's a dome going lower, lower, lower as you're going further south, further south, further south to Antarctica. Well, the encyclopedia says I think it's 13,000 feet is where the firmament comes down, which is like 3 or 4 miles. So that, that would make sense, 72 and like going down a mile or so every, you know, every so however many miles. But I don't know, like we have to speculate on that. We do. Hey, Tyler, really, this is a super chat I'm reading, guys. Just so, hey, Tyler, I really appreciate the work you do, your commitment to truth. I'm wondering if you could do more videos on celebrity Christians like Joel Osteen. Want to help wake my family up deception in the Christian space. Thank you so much, my friend. That is super kind, super chat. Really appreciate it. I've done quite a few. I did a whole video, and maybe you just need to find it, or maybe I'm trying to think of the best way to get it to you. But I did one on all, like, it was a video mostly on, what's his name? It's the pastor with the really creepy eyes. You guys probably know who I'm talking about, but I did like a 3 or 4 pastor video on one video on Osteen, and basically showing how they're all being played by different people. Why can't I think of that guy's name? It'll come to me, or one of you guys will know it. Yeah, Kenneth Copeland. Thank you. I know it sounds crazy, but I truly think Kenneth Copeland was being played by Bradley Cooper. I do, and I think I provide some good evidence. And I think Olstein may have been freaking Martin Short and a few other people, but I've done videos where I'm not speculating like I am there. I've done videos where like I'm exposing like Mark Wahlberg, and he's doing upside down cross and doing the symbolism. I did Brendan Lake, the Christian rock star or Christian musician. I've done a handful of them, but I've done Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, all these people, a lot of them, claiming Jesus and things like that. So I've done a lot. It's just kind of like few and far between. But I will put it on the radar for sure. And if the opportunity presents itself, I will definitely do it again. Fartree, thank you again, my friend. Fartree says, maybe Jesus built the American Capitol building places of impossible stone, and Lucifer is allowed to use them for a little season. It's funny you say that. I watched a video, and I don't think I'll be able to recall who the creator was or where it was from. May have been on TikTok, but they showed a video talking about it was Trump on a talk show, and I don't remember which talk show, maybe Fallon, but they start talking about the Great Wall of China. And, they always tell us the truth subtly and then kind of like laugh it off so you think it's a joke when they're just telling you the truth. They do the truth subtly, and then they tell us lies like with force and propaganda over and over and over again. But they said, yeah, the Great Wall of China, the one that Jesus helped build. And then they're like, ah, ha, ha. But like, it lines up exactly with what you're saying, is that I think a lot of these buildings. Now, I'm not sure about the Roman looking buildings. I don't think the Roman looking buildings were through the hands of the millennial reign, but I do think maybe like these beautiful cathedrals that they can't reproduce. But I don't think I think the Romans are all probably Masonic buildings. There's also, I don't love this creator because I don't, I don't know, he throws around the number 66 a lot and wears Adidas stuff and is associated with people that I don't trust at all. But my lunch break on YouTube has done some good videos showing some evidence that angels have helped build buildings here. So that kind of goes in line with what you're talking about as well, Fartree. But I would be hesitant to say it's the Roman architecture, but I do think the cathedrals for sure. I've been on fire lately. I'm always on fire, my friend, but I appreciate that. I must be a little more on fire than normal because I've had a lot of people say that recently read. So thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate the super chat too, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, my friend Josh and I, and guys, follow my friend Josh. He's Josh Stone Truth on YouTube. He and I have been buddies for 2.5 years. We've only been buddies online, but he was doing the celebrities or other celebrities before I was, and faked their death. And, he's wide awake, and we talk a lot. And we've both just been saying we're getting extra, extra information that's coming to us. And, through nothing of our own. It's all coming from above. And we don't know if it's because it's the end of the short season and there's supposed to be a mass awakening. We don't know what, but usually I'll go through a day and I'll have one or two revelations that just things just pop in my head, or I'll have the TV on and the TV speaks to me about the exact thing I'm trying to research. Things just happen like that for me all the time, and it's been amping up a lot lately, a lot. So maybe I literally am just on fire more than normal. Let's see. Chris Carmack from Grey's Anatomy is Chuck Connors from The Rifleman. I don't know either of those people, but I'll give a screenshot and check it out. I don't know either of those people, my friend, but I appreciate the comment and the super chat. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I screenshot it. I'll check it out. And then let's see. Oh, I deleted a message. I didn't mean to. Shoot. I deleted whoever sent me the $2 super chat. I really apologize, but I accidentally deleted it, and I don't see how I can get it back. So sorry, my friend. I will, Fartree. I will. I just screenshotted that. I will send that to him. Fartree says, encourage Josh Stone to post on YouTube, especially on unicorns. Yeah, Josh, I don't think he posts on YouTube a lot anymore. He's gone just to TikTok, and I've tried to get him on Facebook because Facebook is no censorship right now. But I will tell him that for sure. Now I need to ask him about unicorns. We've talked about a million things, and I don't think it's ever been unicorns. So I can't wait to ask him, or ask him to show me a video he's done on unicorns. Can't wait. What about Chris Jericho, aka Chris Jericho, the wrestler? Guys, I think, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, I don't think, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm just always honest and truthful. And this is going to be a minute. So if you have questions, guys, I'm probably not going to look for a minute. I'll answer that real fast, though. Have I ever been a Freemason? No, I swear on everything in my soul and on my dog's life, I have no association with any Freemasonry, secret society, anything. It's just me and my love for humanity and my hate of deceptions and lies that drives me to do this. And I didn't believe in God for my whole life until I realized where I actually lived. And now I am a fearless warrior for God, which kind of brings me into what I was going to talk about. So when I first woke up, pretty early on, I saw the truth of the Bible. I figured out dragons were real. Dragons are in the Bible. I figured out giants were real. Giants are in the Bible. I figured out the firmament's real. The firmament's in the Bible. So to me, it was proving over and over again that the Bible was true. And what is in the Bible? Well, Jesus is in the Bible. So I fully believed Jesus to be true. And I'm not saying that I don't believe Jesus is true, but just hear me out for a minute. When fast forward maybe a year and a half, not even, going back to exposing the false Christians, I've always had this like wonder, like why I know these people are Luciferians. I know Mark Wahlberg is not a good at heart Christian. He's a deceiver. Now I know he's a fallen angel. I know that like Mel Gibson, these people doing these Christian films and these freaking Jelly Roll and Brendan, like I know these people aren't, I know they're fallen angels, or if at the very least they are Luciferian, they're Lucifer worshipers, not the Heavenly Father. So I'm always like, what's going on there? And in my mind, what I thought it was, well, they need to have, there's going to be a fake Jesus that comes. There's going to be a fake Jesus. And you need to have to fall for a fake Jesus. Well, you need to have a lot of Christians. Okay. So I thought that was their job, was to push Christianity so they could have their fake Jesus come and deceive the world. And then the Charlie Kirk incident happens. And I see the even stronger pushing of Jesus. And then I've had people telling me for a year and a half that Jesus means Hail Zeus. And I, the people I was trusting to tell me that wasn't true, those people, those content creators, those people I put trust in, one by one started to reveal themselves to me that they were not of truth. They were deceivers. So my guard started to come down a little bit on the Jesus meaning Hail Zeus. And then you learn, for me personally, I exposed that the word Alleluia, it used to be Alleluia in the Bible. The King James even in my bedroom says Alleluia. You look at today's Bibles, it's Hallelujah, like Hallel, like praise Lucifer. Hallel is another name for Lucifer. You learn that God, G-O-D, could literally mean Gadriel, which is another name for Lucifer in the book of Enoch, Gadriel. So now we have God that could mean Gadriel. We have potentially Jesus that means Hail Zeus, and then Lord literally means Baal, and you're having all these Luciferians praise Jesus. Well, to me, what I've really started to lean into is that there is a Messiah, there is a Son of God. I just think they have manipulated the names. So I don't pray to Jesus anymore. I haven't prayed to God for a year and a half. I do think the G on the Masonic symbol is for Gadriel, Lucifer. So I haven't prayed, I pray to the Most High, the Heavenly Father. I've really started, there's a creator, John Truth, or it goes by Yahuwah Nation. And I've started to really think that that might be the way. And I'm not trying to sway anyone. I'm just giving you my discovery, my humble opinion. And that's not to say that I don't believe in the being and entity of Jesus. I just truly don't think that's his name. And I used to say it doesn't matter because God knows my heart. And I say God just because that's, I said God for the first 43 years of my life. God knows my heart. But, and like someone said to me, well, if three brothers call their dad different names, like the dad doesn't care. The dad's saying, all right, like one calls him Pa, one calls him dad, the other calls him father. Like the dad still all knows. Yeah, but if those three sons are calling dad mom, well, dad's not going to like that, right? So if you're calling our Heavenly Father by the devil's name, well, yeah, he does know your heart, but there's some deception there. And like I said, it might not be a popular thing right now. I am a big believer of the Bible. I don't know if I'd call myself a Christian anymore, though, because I believe in the Bible and old Bibles and what the old Bibles say. But I think a lot have been manipulated. And when you go down the rabbit hole of the names and things like that, a lot of it makes sense. A lot of it does. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that because I've never really fully shared that in a video. I figured there's no better time than now to do it. And this super chat's been sitting here for a while, so I'm going to answer it. Oh, she wanted to know about Daddy Yiddy, I think. Daddy Yiddy? I don't know who Daddy Yiddy is. Thank you, everything, Marnie. I appreciate that, letting me know. But unfortunately, I don't know who Daddy Yiddy is. I think maybe you're referring to the super chat I deleted on accident. I apologize, my friend, but thank you again, Marnie. All right, guys, I'm going to hop in the comments here. Tracy, thank you for joining, my friend. I appreciate it. What do I think about celebrity impression? What are they? Well, you know, like Jim Carrey, for example. I think Jim Carrey is a shapeshifter. I like truly think we are seeing him shapeshift when he does Jack Nicholson and The Grinch and whoever else he does. You know, like they have the ability to shapeshift. They really do. I know that sounds out there, but they're not human. Even in the Bible, like it says, there's several times where angels can appear as different things to deliver a message. The Bible says be aware of entertaining strangers because you might not know if you entertained an angel. Like they can literally shapeshift. Billy Bob Thornton is Don Knotts. I just posted. Is Don Knotts? Is that Barney Fife? Is that Barney Fife? Don Knotts? I just posted in my Facebook subscriber area. There was a video that, like, I rarely scroll, but I scrolled once on Facebook and Billy Bob Thornton came up and they're asking him, like, if he could go back in time, would he live on an oil ranch or something? He's like, no, I think I'd try to meet Benjamin Franklin. And then I immediately looked up Benjamin Franklin. And he's got, like, if you look, Benjamin Franklin, like, looks like this. And if you've ever seen the movie Sling Blade, Billy Bob Thornton, like, go compare Billy Bob Thornton, Sling Blade, to Benjamin Franklin. I haven't done a video on this yet, but I'm telling you, I think that was them telling us. I think Billy Bob Thornton was Thomas Jefferson. Not Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin. My apologies. And Don Knotts, I need to know if Don Knotts is Barney Fife, because if he is, then I have more to say about that. I mean, everyone has different thoughts on what the G stands for. I used to think it was potentially Gilgamesh, but I truly think it's Gadriel now. But maybe you're a Mason and know for sure. I don't know. Don Knotts, guys. Anyone? I'm going to scroll here. Don Knotts. Don Knotts, is that... Tyler is just Tyler? Yeah, I am just Tyler. I'm no one else. I'm just me, my friends. Tell us if you're Dr. Brian Artis. Guys, people have thought I was Justin Verlander, the baseball player. People have thought I was Jim Henson, the Muppets guy, Dr. Artis. My wife and I are apparently the OKC bomber. If you see people making those ridiculous videos, it's to discredit the work I'm doing. It's to discredit the fact that I'm exposing them. So what do? They try to discredit me. Guys, I'm the most sincere, honest person you will ever come across. And if you can't tell that, like, just by looking at me and hearing me and watching my videos, then the discernment issue is a problem with you, okay? I was a teacher in Grays Lake, Illinois for 20 years. No fallen angel, none of these deceivers is going to hide as a teacher for 20 years. There's evidence that I taught in Grays Lake for 20 years. Go look it up. Anyway, back to Don Knotts. Can someone please tell me if that's Barney Fife or someone else? Thank you, Wheezy. I appreciate it. Okay, Don Nuts. Oh, thank you. I got some yeses here. Okay, so someone posted, this is not a me, I can't take credit for this, but someone posted that that show, the Barney Fife show, what's that show called? Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Look up that show. The characters in that show are the Rat Pack. I think Don Knotts, and it sounds crazy because it's complete duality of what Don Knotts is compared to Frank Sinatra. But if you compare Frank Sinatra to Don Knotts, you will see it. And then Sinatra, and then you have who's the other main guy? I'm not a Rat Pack guy to know, but compare the Rat Pack to the Barney Fife show, whatever that was. I can't think of the name of it because I wasn't alive during it, but I'm familiar enough with it. So anyway, let's move on. Yeah, Dean Martin. Dean Martin was maybe the other cop in that show. Thank you, thank you. Sorry, I'm dating myself here. Jay Leno wishes his chin was as good as mine. Do I see the Mandela effect supernatural side? So I have two pet peeves in the truther world. One is the Mandela effect. Two is clones. Those are, to me, those are both complete psyops, total psyops to one. Well, we'll talk about the Mandela effect first. I think it's total garbage. They control the internet. They've controlled the internet forever. They can manipulate whatever they want. Until I see a Mandela effect in my hand that is something different than I remembered, like if I have a toy in my mom's basement from, the 80s, and all of a sudden that's different than I remembered, then I will take stock of it. But just seeing things on the internet that they manipulate, and they have AI, they've had AI for hundreds of years, that the Mandela effect, in my opinion, is hogwash to mess with our minds. That's my opinion. And like I said, until I have physical evidence, because I don't believe things that I can't see anymore or prove myself. I can't prove that. And then clones, guys. Clones, this is like a trigger. This might be a trigger for people more than me saying that, like I don't believe Jesus is the name of the Messiah anymore. I'll get to clones in 1 second, just because Roxanne gave me a kind super chat. Don Nichols, Governor Waltz, Kathy Griffin, Don Nichols, Governor Waltz. I'll screenshot that. I don't know. I can picture Governor Walz and Kathy Griffin. Oh, no, yeah, Kathy Griffin, definitely Reba. Yes, I do know that now, for sure. But I'll look into the Don Nichols thing. Thank you, my friend. Clones, guys, I've gone on this tirade before. I just posted a question to my Facebook subscribers. I just said, who still believes in clones? And let's generate a chat. And I would say it was like split 50-50. But I like to cover this in almost all my lives because it's important to me, because I think it's a big lie that a lot of us awakened people believe. And I am not innocent of believing it. I believed in clones for a while. But when I really looked at it objectively, and I really did the research, and I really looked for evidence, and especially now with what I am uncovering on a very personal level, that these things live a long time, and they can shapeshift. Clones were a psyop, propagandized, for lack of a better word, and shoved down our throats. So when those of us waking up, starting to see faces that looked like faces of the past, our default would be to say, clones. Oh, they've been cloning people for dozens of years, hundreds of years. There was literally a setup for us to say clones instead of fallen angels that live for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Clones are a psyop. Animal pet clones are a psyop. What did they clone first? Let me rephrase that. What did they tell us they cloned first? Someone put it in the comments. Yes, a sheep. Dolly the sheep, as in the sheeple will believe anything we tell them. They're mocking us with what they told us they cloned. Anyone remember the first movie with clones? I do. Jurassic Park, where they could pull out the DNA from a mosquito and create a clone from the DNA of a dinosaur in a mosquito. Jurassic Park was to propagate dinosaurs, which are a lie, and clones, which were a lie. That was their seed they planted in the back of our head, was that they could clone dinosaurs. Well, we don't believe that, but well, maybe clones are real. And then they come up with the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. They have the Clone Wars. They clone Tyrone. Clones this, clones that. Clones are pushed left and right. Clone, clone, clone. And like I said earlier in this live, when they tell us the truth, it's subtle and they laugh about it. So we think it's a joke. When they want us to believe something that's untrue, they push and push and push and propagate, like the globe. The globe is on every single beginning of every movie. And if it's not, well, there's a globe hidden somewhere in the background. It's to just reinforce your brain. Space. How many space movies are there? I would venture to guess probably 80% of you in here don't believe in space anymore, but we did because it was pushed on us. Clones have been pushed on us to hide fallen angels. And any evidence you think you believe on clones is either from a person deceived themselves pushing that through their social media, or it's coming from an intentional deceiver, a Masonic deceiver, a Luciferian, trying to help hide the fallen angels that they're minions of. And the only other evidence is Google in CloneAid. None of us know anyone who has a cloned pet. I would guarantee that. I would bet all my money that none of us know it. And if someone does, I guarantee you it's just they paid for a pet that kind of looks like it. It's not a clone. The only way you can get an identical match is a twin separated from the egg. Like, clones don't exist. They also said sheep and Dolly to mock us, but I think it's even more so to mock God. To mock God, say, look, we can make these people think we're creating clones, and then we can soul transfer. Clones are a psyop, guys. And I hate to go on a 5-minute tirade and rant over it. And I'm not trying to tirade and rant, but it's a pet peeve of mine. The Mandela effect and clones are two things that I think the truthing world believes in that isn't true. Saint, my friend, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to read it here just to see. Thank you for all you do, Tyler. I was noticing a connection with the Rat Pack and the Brat Pack in your video on Robert Downey Jr. Have you ever found any other connections between the two groups? Because of that's a good, because of Don Cheadle and Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, I thought of that individually, but I haven't explored that on a more macro level to see if there's crossover. I will, because maybe they just travel in packs, like they literally were the Rat Pack and then went to the Barney Fife show, whatever it's called, and then maybe now they're in the Marvel world. So yeah, I'll explore that. I'll explore that for sure. My heart is heavenly. Thank you, my friend. That's all. That's the only reason I do what I do is because I just care. Literally, even just like reading those comments, I'm like in misty eyed just that people can see that in me. It's appreciated. Make a video on James Gandolfini. I'd love to. I just haven't figured out where that guy is yet, or if he was just a character being played by someone else. I think there's. I'll see what I can do. Aaron Paul being Robert. I know who Aaron Paul is. I know that's Pinkman, but I don't know who Robert Iller is. So I can't help you just like from off the cuff. facial recognition. I can't do it because I don't know him. Yeah, guys, and that's I clearly have God in my heart. It's so funny too. Like sometimes I'll feel bad on a like I really didn't believe in God for 42 years. Like I was brought up in like a super loosely Christian home. Like I was baptized and I was confirmed and went through like CCD, which is like, catechism school, but like never it never took. It never took, especially because I was going to public school at the same time, learning about the globe and evolution and dinosaurs. It never took. So for 42 years of my life, I didn't have a relationship with our Father. And sometimes I feel bad about that. I'm just like, like I uh I feel like apologetic, like, and maybe that's part of why I'm doing what I do too, is like to feel like I need to make it up to him. But I also feel like my entire life, I felt like I was here with some mission that I wasn't doing. It was like this inner feeling of I'm supposed to be doing something important that I'm not doing yet. And I don't feel that anymore. Like I know I'm doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I think like, I literally think God was like, all right, Tyler, it's time, let's go. Cause like the way I woke up, and I don't know if all of you know this, but the way I woke up was the biggest way was my dog was dying and I was like seeking truth to see if there was something more to this world than living and dying and being buried in the ground forever. And as my dog's dying, God shows me that there are dogs in the stars. And like I started sharing this with people and they're like, well, you're seeing dogs in stars because your dog's dying. And I'm like, no, I think God's showing me that there are dogs and stars because my dog's dying. It's like he's like having sympathy for me, or like maybe distracting me with that for the pain I was feeling of losing my dog. Cause like I'm a dog dad, my dogs are my kids. And he was my baby. It was like he was to the point where he had like really lost the ability to walk, but he was still happy and healthy otherwise. So I was like carrying him around. I even learned to express his bladder for him. Like it's like I'm freaking Vet Hansen over here. Like I literally learned how to like push the right way to express his bladder. And like it sounds sad and pathetic, but he was like the happiest dog still and not in pain. So I was like, I can do everything I can for this dog. And I truly think it was the first time I felt like absolute unconditional love. And maybe that's part of being tied into waking up. Like maybe you need to feel God's unconditional love through a different medium to like allow you to wake up. I don't know. Those are just thoughts I have. Because the timing of feeling that unconditional love for and from my dog Tillman was like, you can't make that stuff up to then be shown dogs in the stars. And then that just send you on a journey to a million other truths and never stopping. Every single day I'm learning something like literally almost mind blowing. And it's not that I'm smart. Like, sure, I'm like an intelligent person, but it's not like I'm this smart. Like, I'm being sent stuff, in my opinion. And like, with no arrogance, I'm not special. I mean, we're all special, but I'm no more special. I just think maybe maybe I volunteered for a mission down here. I don't know. Oh, I wish I could tell you the Dave Chappelle thing. Oh no, I don't know who Dave Chappelle is. Someone in my Facebook group posted who Dave Chappelle used to be, and it's like undeniable. Um, I wish I could tell you the name. I can't right now. Yeah, Liv Tyler, right? She did just completely disappear. I like can't think of anything she's been in since like Lord of the Rings, which was like 20 years ago. So that probably means she's someone else. That's my guess. That happened with, and if you guys haven't seen my Britney Spears video, like, it took me a long time. I was exposing fake deaths for 2 years before I realized the real reason they fake deaths, and before I realized that they would switch roles without even faking their death. Like Britney Spears is no longer Britney Spears. She's Emily Van Camp. And they haven't killed off Britney Spears yet, but that's what all the craziness is with Britney Spears, like her AI and eyes glitching and people not thinking it's Britney and it's Britney, and there's someone else playing the role of Britney Spears now, and her voice is even different. And Britney is now Emily Van Camp, and you don't know if you don't know who Emily Van Camp is, the only thing I can think of that she's in is she's like she's in the Avengers. She's not Captain America's like love interest, but she's Captain America's love interest's niece, if that helps anybody. That's who Emily Van Camp is. And if you even look up a picture of Emily Van Camp, you can see it's Britney. But look up the video I did because I found all the marks and everything. Yeah, guys, death, honestly, I don't think death is an illusion. I think this is the illusion. I think we're just living in, I don't think it's a simulation or a 3D hologram thing. I think it's God's simulation. God created this for us to, have a little soul experience in my opinion. um, all Hollywood fallen angels are one third of the Dragon's Tail. I think Hollywood are the 200 angels. I think Hollywood and the music industry, I think they're the 200 angels. And I think the third of the angels are also here, which might be millions, but I think they're maybe like lower level minions. I don't think they're the faces we're seeing on TV playing multiple roles and living as presidents and then coming to play Walter White on Breaking Bad or Alec Baldwin, who was I mean, guys, the amount of presidents that I have found personally is probably a dozen, but then my subscribers on Facebook have found probably another 2 dozen. I think we're up to like 30 out of the 47 presidents or something that we've figured out. And I don't know how many videos I'm going to do on it. Because the first one I did it's probably up to like 15 million views across all platforms. The first Presidents Are Alive video. It's so cool that so many people saw that because if it doesn't wake you up to the fact we're in a spiritual world, it at least gets you thinking about what is going on in this world, Let's see. Wonder if Patrick Swayze and Ernest are still alive. Yeah, 100%. Because none of them are dead. None of them. This sounds crazy, and it's been a meme going around lately. There's a meme that I've seen a lot that John Cena, the older he gets, the closer he's looking to Ernest, because I think he was Ernest. I really do. And Patrick Swayze, I've done a few videos on. I'm actually currently looking at this younger actor that I think there's a good chance is him. But Patrick Swayze, when he first faked his death, he paraded around as his brother. I did a video on it. Him and Chris Farley, I think, before they took on like more permanent roles, they acted as their brothers, which I think I proved because their noses completely changed, their voices changed. You can look those videos up. I think I did one with Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze together, how they both became their brothers for a period of time. And when I say became, I mean they just paraded around pretending to be their brothers. I have not done a video on the prophecy of the popes. I'm not even familiar with that, to be honest. Is Justin Bieber a woman? So I go back and forth with the invert stuff. And not that I don't think it's happening, but there's a big part of me. Someone posed this idea, and it makes a lot of sense to me, especially in light of my George Washington and Glenn Close and Martha Washington and Glenn Close's husband thing. That I think angels are mostly male. They're either androgynous or asexual or mostly male. I don't know if they're female angels. So what I'm getting at with that is maybe all these fallen angels are all male, but they take on roles of female. So, like you can't have Hollywood as nothing but males. So maybe they take on roles of females. And to be honest, we've found quite a few of like, and when I say we, I don't have a team or anything. I mean my Facebook subscribers who are always just active and hunting and doing great things. But we have found a lot that have crossed, like Glenn Close played George Washington, who was a male and now is a female, even though her name is Glenn. Not Glyn, Glenn, Glenn Close. Interesting. So when you ask the Justin Bieber thing, I don't know, maybe they're all just male angels and they can shapeshift and appear feminine. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, I do think they have kids, and I do think, I mean, just look at Megan Fox's kids. I've done a video on that. Megan Fox's boys are all like girls, basically. Just saw a pic of Alex Jones, clean shaven, looks like Gandolfini. That's a hard one for me, but maybe. I don't discount anything. I know Alex Jones was Bill Hicks, that I'm sure of. Let's see, what else? I've been going about, 68 minutes. Guys, I want to go maybe another 10 minutes. Just my voice is starting to get a little raspy. Yeah, I've done a few videos on Megan Fox. It was actually the first time I ever did like a invert trans video. And I don't like to do those a lot because they are speculative, I think. Unless you can like lift up the skirt and look, it's speculation. But with Megan Fox, what was her first big movie? Someone put it in the comments. What was Megan Fox's first big movie? Think about it. Transformers. Exactly. And I caught the movie This Is 40 that she's in. I caught a scene where she's taking off her shirt and she says, I transferred it. She doesn't say I transferred it. She says, I transferred it. And there were some other things in the video, but yeah, they always tell us. So while I do think there might be some truth to the angels being male, and I'm definitely not opposed to the inversion, because it's a Baphomet thing, and I think Baphomet is probably a representation of Lucifer, who's Trump. Trump has a picture of himself with horns, like literal horns that he posted in the White House. Not like devil horns, like goat horns. All right. A few more, guys. Let's see. I don't know Shawn Mendes. I'm sorry. Yeah, go. So if you have not seen my video I've done on MJK or MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, and Megan Fox, it's one of the most telling videos I've ever done, I think. Machine Gun Kelly used to be Keith Richards. Go, if you haven't seen my videos, it was maybe a month or two ago on Keith Richards, Machine Gun Kelly, and Megan Fox. Like, I match up Megan Fox to Machine Gun Kelly's, or to Keith Richards' wife. Facial markings and everything. Usually when I do the wives, I don't even bother looking for the facial markings, because it's like, okay, when I'm telling you this person's this person and their wife looks like this person's wife, it's like, I don't even need to do the facial markings. It's just common sense. But I did the markings on Keith Richards' wife and Megan Fox, who are both Keith Richards, his wife, and Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. Look that video up. It's wild if you haven't seen it. Bruce Willis is currently not sick. He's pretending to be sick because he's going around acting as Bob Odenkirk. He's Bob Odenkirk. I've done, I don't know if I've done a video. Did I do a video on that? I think I did a video on that. If I know I've done a post on it, like pictures and side by sides. I'm not sure if I've done a video. I can't remember. Though I think I did because I think one of those, I think I said earlier on here, I get wild messages from the TV. And I know that sounds crazy, but the TV speaks to me all the time. Like synchronicity is like crazy. And I'm not a big TV guy at all. I'll put it on when I'm researching just so for like background noise. And all the time, the random stuff I'm researching will be talked about on the TV. And I was researching Bruce Willis and I was researching Bob Odenkirk, like trying to figure out for sure if they were them. And I'm watching, I was doing this because I was watching the movie Nobody 2. It was on in the background when I was doing my research, and I like caught a glimpse. I'm like, Bob Odenkirk. He like made a face that was so Bruce Willis. So I started researching, and as I'm researching that, I'm like, oh, Bruce Willis was in the show Moonlighting, so I'm going to look up Moonlighting to see if there's any like Moonlighting crossover with Bob Odenkirk. And I kid you not, as I type in Moonlight in the movie Nobody 2 that is on my TV while I'm typing in Moonlight, out of nowhere, the camera pans up and zooms into a full moon and just freezes on it. And I'm like, what in the world? And like, as I'm typing Moonlight, and that stuff happens to me, sorry, shaken baby syndrome here. That stuff happens all the time. Like researching Marilyn Monroe when I put a Seinfeld show on to have in the background, and the one random one that I picked to put on within the first 30 seconds, they're talking about Marilyn Monroe. There's 120 Seinfeld episodes. They're talking about Marilyn Monroe. I've got a fireplace here that turns colors. When I started researching Prince, it turned purple, and like Prince is known for being purple. Just stuff like that happens all the time to me, and it's so cool. I think it's literally just like little messages from up there, like you're on the right track, Tyler. Like keep going. I thought for a while The Weeknd was played by Bieber, by Justin Bieber. That's funny they say Bob Odenkirk is Jim Lovell because Jim Lovell just died a few months ago, and I did a video on him. But I'm saying it's funny because I had my wedding dinner at Jim Lovell's restaurant. Jim Lovell lived in my town, and he had a restaurant called Lovell's. And my wife, just a few months ago, was back home visiting her grandma, and her grandma was in the same, not nursing, like kind of assisted living as Jim Lovell. And she ate next to Jim Lovell, who was not in good shape at all. So that's one I think I might not agree with. Now maybe he could be in not good shape and then go drink a bunch of Abrina Bro or do shape shifting, but I think the astronauts are just Masons. I don't think they're part of the 200. The fallen stars have not said anything for exposing them. I keep writing you and you avoid me. I'm not trying to avoid anyone, my friend. I just get a million different messages every day, so there's no avoiding. But I'll answer this. I appreciate the super chat. The fallen stars have not said anything for exposing them. So someone asked me in my Facebook group the other day, like, do I think they watch my videos? And I made a joke, like, the fallen angels, the 200 is named, another name for them is the Watchers. And I said, I think every weekend they have a Watchers party. Get it? Watch party, Watchers party. It was a joke, but I do know they have seen my stuff. Like Uncle Pappy, who is Robin Williams, used to wear a all-seeing eye necklace medallion. Wore it in all his videos until the day I made made a video about him, calling him out on it. And then he hasn't worn it since. And he's also addressed all these conspiracy videos thinking I'm Robin Williams. That's funny. God bless that man's heart. Well, I was the only one making conspiracy videos about him being Robin Williams. Other people have probably done it now, but that wasn't on anyone's radar until I did it. So they see my stuff. No one's, I'm not getting any death threats or messages or anything. I honestly think, like, if they wanted me gone, they could hit the button on my platforms any minute or take me out, even though I don't really think they do that. I think people think they do that. I think they're deceivers and manipulators. I don't know if I think the fallen angels straight up just take people out. Now, I think there are some bad people under them that might be, vampires and living on blood and people, but I don't know if I think that of them. But maybe. But no. What I was getting at is I think there's a part of me that thinks they want people woken up, because I've never experienced anything more dividing in my life than waking up. It divides you from your friends and your family. So maybe it's just another way to divide people, is giving, like, I lost a lot of friends when I woke up. None of my coworkers, I shouldn't say none, a couple of my coworkers still will talk to me that were buddies. But I lost a lot of friends. My family is, distanced themselves from me a little bit. I distanced myself from them a little too. I mean, I moved across the country. I would have never done that before I woke up. So I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks they allow me to reveal what I do because it's just creating more divide, unfortunately. Yeah, why would they have mega churches? Well, so like the Jesus thing, people told me that for months and months and months, probably multiple years, that Jesus meant Hail Zeus. And why would they give us Bibles if it's the truth? And well, for me, it was always, well, if they can give you something and convince you it's not true, that's even more deceptive than just hiding it from you. And I think there's also part of they have to give us the truth, but they just need to convince us that it's not true. And I think there's more power in literally giving someone a Bible and convincing them it's not true. Like, that was me. That was me. That was a lot of us. But no, that doesn't mean they need to give you the full truth. They always layer their deceptions. And that's what I didn't realize when I first woke up. So I went straight to, like, Jesus and Lord and God and all those names are the truth, instead of, like, keeping my discernment going and trying to prove the things that I can prove still. Is Robin Williams Bono from YouTube? They do have a striking resemblance. I've never gone into proving that to myself, but I've definitely seen the comparisons for sure. He could be. I do. I mean, I think a lot of these actors, fallen angels, play multiple roles, and they cross over for sure. Politics to music, music to politics, acting to politics. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Matthew McConaughey is freaking playing Gavin Newsom? Yeah, Gavin Newsom right now. That's the California governor, right? I did a video, like, it's 1,000% him. Do you ever watch Dark City? No, I haven't. I've had a few people tell me that I should. No, sorry, my friend. Sorry, Snells. I haven't seen it, but I've had a few people, so maybe that's something I got to put on to have in the background while I'm doing research. Thank you for the kindness, though. I appreciate it, my friend. All right. Let's see. Oh, I missed this one. Did I? How about Eddie Murphy and Martin? They're all. It's all of them. It's something I say a lot to my Facebook subscribers. It's all of them. Or maybe you were saying, are they the same? Martin and Eddie Murphy being the same? Maybe that's what you were getting at. Or versus asking me if they were part of the club. They're all part of the club. Someone said, do you think it could be in a simulation? I addressed that a little bit earlier. Yeah, I do, but it's God's simulation. It's not a computer simulation. It's not a 3D holographic matrix. It's God's simulation. We're here in the flesh with our spirits hanging out inside, our souls. I've done a video on Rihanna. I can't think who she is currently. I think she became more of a lower level actress. And they do that sometimes. Like some of these big stars, I think they like take a break and like become like a lower level celebrity for a while before they like ramp up again. I think that's what Robin Williams is doing right now. Robin Williams taking a break, like from the all out celebrity he was, taking a break, and he'll reappear. He'll reappear younger for sure. He's not just, he hasn't seen his last days. Like he was Teddy Roosevelt, for crying out loud. Probably took a break. Probably was someone, took a break, became Robin Williams, is taking a break, and then he'll populate again for sure. Steve Irwin is not taking a break. He is Steve Backshall now, an Australian wildlife guy. I've done a video. That was actually the first entity, the first fallen angel that I found who they were, faked their death, found out who they were, faked their death, found out who they were. That was the first one where I found 3 different people. Now there's a whole lot. Now I have found a whole lot of them that I have traced them from who they are to who they were to who they were before. Most of them being the presidents. Yeah. Are there any non-flat earthers in here? I feel like it's hard to follow me if you don't know the earth is flat. I mean, any show of hands for people that still think they live on a globe? Michael Jackson is Bruno Mars now, my friend. So the George Bush question. I'm speculating on this. I don't know yet. But I think there's a chance that Senior Bush, George Bush, I don't know who he was, but I think there is a chance that he's, what's his first name? The Peterson guy. Peterson. Does all sorts of like, he's like really intelligent, does all these speeches, like very right wing. Peterson. Can't think of his first name. Jordan Peterson, thank you. I don't quote me on this one yet, but someone sent me 2 videos of him and said, watch how George Bush speaks and Jordan Peterson. And I watched it and I was like, that's him. I haven't done any facial comparison, any facial marking, any split screen, nothing to prove it, but it seemed pretty exact to me. So check that out on your own, and maybe one day I'll do a video on it. But I don't know who the Bushes were before. There's a lot of speculation that George Bush Jr. played the role of, was it Charles Manson? Yeah, I think Charles Manson, but I don't know if I believe that one yet. I've never tried to prove it. Is Michael Jackson now Andrew Tate? No. Anton LaVey is now Andrew Tate. Michael Jackson is now Bruno Mars. I did a video on Bruno Mars and Michael Jackson like a week ago. Robert De Niro? I don't know. Robert De Niro might just still be Robert De Niro. I'm not sure though. Steve Carell was Michael Landon. No, I think Steve Carell was I hate when names slip my mind during this. Steve Carell looks identical to this singer. Like the same face, but he's very pale, long black hair. Alice Cooper. Thank you. Alice Cooper is Steve Carell for sure. I hate when I Cannot remember names. Elon Musk was Werner von Braun. I did a video on that. That's undeniable. That the Werner von Braun, if you don't know who that is, he was the director of NASA during all the moon missions. Um, but that was maybe the most exact facial markings I've seen. It's like there's two here, there's two here, there's one here, like there's a scar. It's everywhere. Like Werner von Braun, who faked his death and then put Psalms 19:1 on his tombstone, is Elon. Werner von Braun, who wrote a book called The Mars Project, who just coincidentally happens to have a guy named Elon in the book. That's the wild thing, guys, is when I first read the Ingersoll Lockwood books predicting like a guy like I don't remember it exact anymore, but there's like a person named Barron, and he's like got a it's like a lot of references to Donald Trump and Barron, and there's the last president, and like all that it's predictive programming. But I used to not be able to wrap my head around how they would do it. I was like, man, they're like so on top of their game that like Mason generation after Mason generation like carries forth this stuff. But when you are an undying fallen angel here for hundreds, if not thousands of years, well, like they just play the long game. Like if I lived 1,000 years, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna like make a plan now and I'll do it like 50 years from now. Like when you got all the time in the world, and not all the time, but when you got tons of time, you can make plans and carry them out. That's how they do the predictive programming, because they've been here so long. Probably was all being planned when they were all in the bottomless pit, planning their little short season that they were going to get to have. Elizabeth Montgomery is now Amy Adams. She has the same markings on her chest, shoulders, hand. Who's Elizabeth Montgomery? I don't know who that is. Was she the original Bewitched? Is that, I'm guessing just based on that, that's the original Bewitched. Sorry about shaking my phone here. I'll screenshot that and check that out. That's a good one. Thank you for the super chat. Is it Sills? Thank you, Sills. I appreciate it. Have I done a video on Michael Keaton? I haven't. I was. Thank you, KJ. I appreciate it. I want to. I thought there was a chance. I thought Michael Keaton was one of the presidents. I kept seeing his face, and I don't remember which president, but I kept seeing Michael Keaton's face. But I don't think it is. I think he just actually resembles him. But I've never done a video on Michael Keaton. I was always a big fan of his. Like, I loved the original Batman movie he was in. I loved the movie Multiplicity, even though it never got me to believe in clones. But no, I haven't done a video on him. I have not. Susan, much appreciated. So much. Thank you. I appreciate it greatly. You guys are awesome. Love the support. Always, like, I love going live, just, if anything, just for the kindness and the support I get. I posted in the subs. Oh, yeah. You have to read it. Taylor John, I posted in the subs. You have to read it. Which one, Taylor? Was it the, I knew I saw it. Maybe you're talking about the Bewitched one. I knew I saw it in the subs thing, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I felt like I remembered seeing Amy Adams in there for sure. All right, guys, I want to take a few more questions and then head out for the night. I believe Tartaria was the Millennial Kingdom. I think Tartaria is kind of like a psyop to hide the Millennial Kingdom. That's my opinion. Any tips to start a YouTube? I have notes for years to expose stuff. Just start small and start right away. Don't worry about how professional or good it is. Just start. Like when I started posting, like I literally turned to the internet because I was telling my wife things. She wouldn't listen. I was telling my brothers things. They wouldn't listen. I would telling my mom things. They wouldn't listen. I was telling my friends things. They wouldn't listen. I was telling everyone things. Like I was a bull in a china shop, just screaming at everyone. And it didn't go well for me. And my wife said, "Why don't you try posting on TikTok?" And at the time, I was like, "TikTok, blah, blah, TikTok's stupid." But what I realized quickly after that is all the propaganda against TikTok was because they were allowing truth to be told. But I just started posting. Like I just it was terrible at first. I had no practice. I had no editing skills. I just wanted to get information out. And if it's good information, people will watch it. And then with time, like with anything, you'll get better. And that's what's happened to me. Like people ask if I have like people that edit my videos. I'm like, no, I've made a video every single day for probably 800 days, every single day. And with you would hope with 800 videos, I'd probably get a little better at it. So just start posting, my friend. We need more people doing it. Like I didn't ever post thinking I would turn out to have millions of people follow me and like, listen to things I have to say. But if the information's good, you'll get better and people will come and watch. And we need more of us out there doing it. Far Tree, I don't, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, I'm very familiar with Kevin Costner, but I don't know Chris Martin of Coldplay. I'll have to do a comparison. But I mean, there's none of them that doesn't play multiple roles. And one of the crazy revelations I've had the past week is that I truly think that Trump, who I truly think is Lucifer, is playing a lot of musician roles. I think he's a handful, if not more, of people in big bands because he's a shapeshifter. And one I might do a video on because it's somewhat easy to see if you just don't look at the size. But I truly think Donald Trump, who is Lucifer, who was Elvis, is Angus Young of AC/DC. And maybe not always, but I'm pretty darn sure. And I had this theory because I'll tell you the story real quick. I had Spotify open, had AC/DC playing when I'm working out, and I close it and I was like, why was Trump on Spotify? And I opened back up and it was Angus Young. Like, wow, they look similar. And then I looked at more pictures and they look similar. And then a subscriber was like, well, Angus Young does the duck walk in Donald Duck. And then if you turn Donald Duck upside down, it looks like Trump. If you look up what a male duck is called, it's a drake. A drake can also be a serpent or a dragon. But not only that, but Angus's real name is Aberdeen, and Aberdeen means river of the Don. But that's all speculation. I said to myself, I know that Elvis and Trump are the same, and they have the exact same two holes in their face, clear as day. So I was like, if there's any chance that Angus is Donald, is Lucifer, oh, and he always does the horns. Angus Young literally does the devil horns all the time. The only musician I've ever seen do the Angus or the devil horns all the time. But I was like, if Donald is truly Lucifer, is Angus, he's going to have those dots, the exact two dots in the exact same place on the exact like angle and alignment. So as crazy as that sounds, and I'm not sure if I'll ever do a video because it's almost too hard for even the most awake people to believe. I think it's true, and I think he plays multiple musicians. And that's like, like they say Lucifer was the minister of music in heaven before he got kicked out. Well, I think he still wants his hand in all the music. And I've done a video on how Trump says he was genius level musical mind, like his parents had him tested, and like all the signs are there that he's Lucifer, all of them. That's why he's the president during the 250-year anniversary of him being released, and his face is on the Statue of Liberty, which is also Lucifer. So I'm sure he's Lucifer. I don't know if I was the first one to ever figure that out. I'm not sure, but I think I'm maybe the first one that's proven it. Same with him being Elvis. Glenn, let me see what you wrote here, my friend, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh man, I solidified my faith in God because of you. I also don't have friends anymore. Sorry and thank you. Um, Join the club, my friend. Join the club. Honestly, sincerely, that makes my day, but also breaks my heart because it can be a lonely road. You know, like I moved to Florida with my wife, and my wife has made a bunch of friends. I haven't made any, not one. Well, that's not true. An old neighbor that I lived by in when I was a kid in Illinois lives close, and like I'm friends with her and her husband, but like I haven't made a single friend, and I'm okay with it because it just keeps me focused on my mission here. And my mission is exactly what you wrote, Glenn, helping people find a relationship with God because of seeing through the lies we've all been told to hide God from us and to hide the fallen angels from us, in my opinion. But Glenn, I'm going to screenshot that and share it with my wife. She'll enjoy that. Thank you, though. I appreciate you sharing that, and my heart goes out to you. But I wouldn't trade all my friends in the world for who I am now, as sad as that might sound. Let's see. Why don't I see people in real life? Um, I'll get to that in 1 second. I want to answer. John Denver, my friend, is. I don't even think I said that, but thank you, Third Eye Open. I appreciate that kindly. But you're right. I don't think I said it. So Steve Irwin became Steve Backshall, who is a Australian outdoor enthusiast. Steve Backshall was Steve Irwin, who was John Denver. I've done a video. I've done a couple of videos actually because I figured out John Denver was Steve Irwin. That was a video, but then I figured out the the link between all of them. So yeah, just look up John Denver. You will see Steve Irwin's face. It's like some of them are so obvious. But then back to the question, why don't I see people in person? Um, Unfortunately, I'm just not trusting of people online. You know, I don't, um, and I'll give you why. Because when I first started making videos, I blew up pretty quick. Like I don't know, I went like in the course of a month or two on TikTok, I probably had 30,000 followers, and then 50, and then 100, and like I was befriended by I don't know, I would say handful or two handfuls of people that I thought were just good intentioned and were interested in talking to me and having me on podcast and becoming my literal friends, because I thought they were just interested in truth and thought what I was saying was cool. And um, but then slowly I started to see that they weren't what I thought. Like I was buddies with David Weiss, Flat Earth Dave, for a year and a half. We texted probably every day. But then I slowly just like my discernment, my spidey sense just kept tingling and tingling. And when I would show them things and they couldn't see it, I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. You guys have been a lot more awake for a lot longer than me. Why aren't you seeing this? And then I'd see the symbolism, and I'd see like the final experiment and Dave being involved with that. And all of a sudden seeing like my buddies on the Firmamental podcast who I thought were good buddies, like all of a sudden I'm noticing they literally have a Lucifer torch in their freaking symbol. So long story short is like I was befriended by a bunch of Masons that I think were probably trying to be handlers of mine in some way. And it just made me untrusting of people online. And I know there are so many good, kind, caring souls that just like every day my wife and I get asked if they like we'd like to have lunch with people. Um, but I've just made it a habit not to do that, because it just opens myself up to deceivers, if I'm being honest. And I subjected myself to that once, and I don't want to again. So I apologize. I mean nothing rude. I don't mean to be not approachable and things like that, but it's just kind of for self-protection. Can we reliably keep a tally of the fallen angels? Well, I think I have a few people, and thank you, my friend. I appreciate the contribution. I have a few people in my Facebook area that have started lists. Like one has a president list, and he's got who they currently are written on every president, and it's pretty awesome. And then another subscriber and buddy, I think, has started like a full list. Chris Beck, if you guys don't know who Chris Beck is, he's been on Joe Rogan, so I had a really hard time trusting him for a while. But I don't, was he an Army Ranger or a Navy SEAL? He was someone that was literally like a badass in the SEALs or the Rangers. I don't remember which. I could be none of those. And then was transitioning to become a woman, and then had a spiritual awakening. And I think a big part of it was like realizing where we lived, and he realized there was propaganda going against him. It was probably some of the stuff he was eating. I don't want to tell his story, but he is. I honestly kind of forgot where I was going with this. Why was I talking about Chris even? Now I need to look back up. I like totally lost my train of thought there. I apologize. Why was I talking about Chris? Shoot, I lost it. Oh, the list. Lost my mind for a second there. Anyway, if you don't know who Chris Beck is, look him up. He was literally turning into Christian Beck. Kristen Beck. I think his biggest presence is on Instagram. He's, I think, Valor for Freedom. But he is just a tremendous individual, and you can just see he is pure of heart, and he is fighting this battle very similarly to me, but he's approaching it from a much different angle. He is like so biblically intelligent. He is so well read and is approaching things from like a very biblical sense. And like did a post the other day, like calling out the Watchers, basically the fallen angels. And he sent me a list, a tremendous list, probably 100, 150 people on there of who they were, who they are. And so, yes, long answer to a short question is there are lists starting to be generated. Go follow Chris, though. You know, don't take my word for it. Like, and trust me, I was very skeptical of Chris for a while. But he and his wife are just tremendous individuals with big hearts, trying to do good in this world. And his wife was a teacher like me and woke up and could no longer become you can't, it's really hard to be a teacher once you wake up. And, you know, if there are people able to do that, you know, I understand. I was luckily in a situation where I don't have kids. So I was like, I can quit my job. And without having kids, I had saved enough money where I'm like, oh, even if I can't find another job for a while, I'll be all right. My wife was working. I was in a position where I could quit my job. Now, even if I wasn't, I still think I would have had to quit, but that's just me. So, but I understand people that wake up and you're a teacher and you can't leave that job. Can I speak about people calling me Brian Artis? I've been watching you for a while, and although I hear you most things, you do say things that are contradictory. I already spoke to this, my friend. Anyone saying that I'm someone else is just trying to discredit me. And I don't think I say anything contradictory. If anything, I might say things like I'm learning every day of my life. So while I said something a year ago, I might have a different view on it now, you know? So I'm not trying to be contradictory. I have no agenda. The only thing I care about is leading people through deception into truth. Most importantly, to find fearlessness through knowing that we're spiritual beings here from a heavenly spiritual Father that created all this for us. My honest recommendation is whoever you are watching that is calling me different people or inverted or trans or, like I said earlier, Justin Verlander or the Oklahoma City bomber or this artist character, or I'm 10 different people, Jim Henson, I'm 10 different people at this time. These are the people that you really don't want to trust. These are the people that are trying to discredit the work I'm doing on exposing who they worship, the fallen angels. I can sit here right now in full confidence and say, I swear on my soul that I am nothing more than what I present in a teacher who quit teaching because he woke up and couldn't be part of the indoctrination system anymore, who has nothing but truth and care and love for humanity in my heart with zero deception. I have no affiliation with any secret societies, especially the Freemasons who I expose on a daily basis. They don't expose themselves. They don't. They don't hide in schools being a high school gym teacher for crying. I was a high school PE teacher for 20 years. I taught strength and conditioning. No one does that. That is any of the people that are saying I am. If I were those people, I wouldn't go hide as a gym teacher for 20 years, just biding my time to lie to people on the internet. Like, let's use logic, my friends. I'm very researchable. Go look up Grays Lake North High School. I taught there for 20 years. So that's the last I'm going to say about that. Use your discernment. I think I'm as genuine of a person as there is in the world. And I don't lie about anything to anyone. You could ask me any question right now and I'd be honest about it. So my recommendation is work on your discernment if you're questioning that, and stop listening to the people that are saying that about me, because they're the deceivers. Just my 2 cents. 666 watching. Oh, you guys can see that. Okay, good. Yeah, there are 666 people watching. Yeah. And of course, it moves the second we talk about it. I'm glad you can see that, because when I said it earlier, I'm like, oh, people are, I don't even know if you could see that or not. And I'm talking about 333 when there are 333 people in here and it was frozen on it. I think Neuralink, in my humble opinion, is the fake mark of the beast, because I think we're living in a time past the mark of the beast. I think that happened. I think the millennial kingdom happened. I think we're living in that short season that is now 250 years old. I cannot see your name, the pretty Prek. I can't see your name, but I appreciate your kind words, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad you caught my live. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to get off pretty soon, but you'll be able to watch the replay if you want. It's been a good one, I think. We've had some good conversations. Unfortunately, I've had to talk about me just being Tyler Hansen, the retired PE teacher from Grays Lake North High School in Illinois, that you can all research and do your due diligence. I say this with all humility, guys, and I'm not the only one, but I'm just one of the good guys that cares and is trying to make a dent in this world of deceit. And like I'll tell you a quick story. When I first woke up, so this is going back to summer of 2023, and I'm talking about things to people. I was literally in a hot tub with my wife and my brother-in-law, and we're just talking. And he's like, even if all this stuff you're saying is true, who cares? What are you going to do about it? And I'm like, what do you mean? What am I going to do about it? I'm going to start a revolution. I'm going to start an army. I'm going to flip tables. No, how do you not care that we've been lied to our entire lives? I just care. And I sit here 2.5 years later, and I have probably 2.5 million, 3 million people that follow me across all the platforms, and all humility, but I'm trying to do something about it because I care, not because I'm some person that I say I'm not. Just a caring human. It's why I was a teacher. It's why I was a teacher, because I care. And I found confidence in myself. I wasn't a confident kid. I was chubby and bullied, and I found confidence through working out and fitness and getting strong and getting in shape. And I wanted to help instill that in other young adults. So I became a PE teacher to help, a strength and conditioning teacher to help kids get strong physically so they could become strong inwardly. And now I'm trying to help people become strong spiritually. So that's me. And if you can't see that's just me being sincere with no agenda, no lies, I'm not someone else, then like I said, you got to work on your discernment, my friends. I wake people up and show them what a UAP looks like in the sky. How do you do that? The UAPs, you mean the holograms or the government patents? Not aliens from other planets, that's for sure. Hey, what's up, Tiffany? Um, just seeing if there's anything else about flat Earth. Have you seen the scale is changing on a Google map when approaching Antarctica? I'm not sure if I know what you mean. Do you mean like if on Google, if you like try to circle it, it goes like haywire? Is that what you mean? Or something different? I'm not sure if so maybe I haven't seen what you mean. If it's not, like I've seen so many people do it where if you like circle something on Antarctica, it'll give you like the circumference in miles, but or not anywhere in Earth, it'll give you the miles. But if you try it on Antarctica, like goes haywire. Only facts, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Only facts says, may God continue to bless you and protect you and yours. Thank you. Means a lot. And appreciate you joining the membership. I think that's what it is, maybe. Thank you. I'm telling you guys, I love people to join here and see the extra content, but there's no community here on this platform. It's just my extra content, which is good. It's worth the money. It's worth a couple bucks, but the Facebook, there's a community. So if you're a member here now, I encourage you, let this one run out and join over on Facebook. But try to join on Facebook first because some people have been having trouble. So I wouldn't want you to lose this one. And I mean, I guess you could just re-sign up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Some people just, Mary, if I ignored your super chat, were you the $2 one? I've got no super chats on my screen right now. So if I ignored it, it wasn't intentional. I deleted one on accident, a $2 one. If that was yours, I'm sorry, Mary. But if you try to write it, whatever you wrote again, I'll try to check it out. Let me look. Hey, Breaking Bear. What's up, my friend? Breaking Bear can attest to the Facebook subscription. He's an awesome member over there. It's the place to be, guys, for sure. All right, Mary, I see you're in green now. So if you write it again, can you just write it again, Mary? And I'll catch it because I don't think I ever noticed that members are actually green, or I just have not had a ton of members on the chat. But if you write it again, I'll check it out. Chosen Sigma, thank you, my friend. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I'm looking for Mary. Maria, thank you. You just joined a week ago. Thanks so much. I'm glad you found us too. And I say us, I don't mean us as like I talk about the subscriber group. I don't want people thinking I have like a team of people because I don't. It's just me and my Facebook group who gives me stuff all the time. Oh, Crystal, yeah, I think it was me. Can you see if Diddy Yankee is a fallen? I don't know who Diddy Yankee is, but I will happily screenshot that for you and check it out. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry you had to do that twice. I appreciate it though. Mary, there we go. Have you ever done a video on prophecy of the popes? Oh, no, I did answer that earlier, Mary. You must have just not heard me. I haven't done a video and I'm not familiar with what that is. I did answer that earlier though. Sorry you missed it. Maybe you took a bathroom break during that time. But I definitely addressed that. All right, guys, voice is getting really rough here. My eyes are starting to fade on me. Um, I'm going to look for one last question, but I need to get up and close. I do all my work from this phone. Can you believe that? Like all the videos I make, every single one, all the research, all the facial markings I find, it's all on this stupid thing. And I have a blue light blocking screen cover on, and my eyes still get so haywire. Oh, yeah, I want to find Larry Bird. That's kind of what I'm on now is finding I want to find these athletes now that I know Michael Jordan was Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle is freaking Christian McCaffrey. I really and this is I'll end on this. I really want to find Caleb Williams because my brother and it doesn't matter that my brother is, but I was a huge Bears fan. And guys, I think 2 years ago when they drafted Caleb Williams, I said the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl within 2 or 3 years. Not because how good he is, because I saw him wearing a dress and painting his fingernails, and like he clearly to me was part of the club. And now I think he's clearly a fallen angel. But I want to find him, and I have a suspicion of who he might be, but it's not fully adding up. So I got to keep working on. But George Gervin was an NBA basketball player, and his nickname was the Iceman. And they are calling Caleb Williams the Iceman all the time now. George Gervin ended his basketball career with Michael Jordan on the Bulls. Chicago connection. George Gervin has some similar facial features. But when I look at George Gervin, I don't see Caleb Williams. And a lot of times I see him. So I'm having a hard time proving it. I'm not sure. But I'm going to find Caleb Williams. Mark my words, I will find who he was before he was Caleb Williams. Because I guarantee you he was someone. And I'm pretty sure the Bears are winning the Super Bowl this year. Not because they're the best team, if you get what I'm saying. All right. Iceman sounds like he can make it snow. All right, last question. Since I didn't answer one, I just went on my own little chat. Oh. Have I ever read John Milton's Last Paradise? No, I haven't. It's Perspective of the Fallen Angels, possibly. Last Paradise. Is it Paradise Lost or Last Paradise? Lost. Oh, Lost. No, but I. Oh no, it's the Scrib tapes that someone's been telling me to reach. No, but I'm gonna. I just screenshotted that. I'll check it out though. Thank you, Lethargic, for the recommendation. I will check it out for sure. And thank you for the kindness and the super chat. All right, guys. If anyone wants one last question, it's probably only going to definitely be read if you do a super chat. And I'm not saying that for money. I'm just saying if you got something you're dying to ask me, because I'm about to get out of here. Maria, here's a member. Have you ever thought about doing pastors and ministers? Someone asked me that earlier. I've done a Kenneth Copeland video. In that Kenneth Copeland video, I exposed like 2 or 3 other big mega church people. So I've attacked the fake Christians. But yeah, maybe I'll try to do that some more. Maybe I'll try to do that some more since there's seems to be some requesting of it. Hey guys, I appreciate the kindness. Just I really appreciate you getting that in there before I get out of here. Oh yeah, Obama is Osama for sure. Obama is Osama. I did a video on TikTok. It got taken down immediately like 2 years ago, so I haven't even tried to put that one out into the universe. I also think, speaking of the Bulls and Michael Jordan, I'm pretty sure that not only was Obama Osama, but I think Scottie Pippen played the role too. Scottie Pippen, who wore number 33, who is a known Freemason. Go compare Scottie and Obama or Osama, and you'll see it. Last, good night, my friend. Good night. You're welcome. Atlanta, Atlantis. Well, that's funny you say that. There is a big old Lucifer torch in the middle of Atlanta. Like when you drive down the main highway, and I know it's from the Olympics, but it's a big old Lucifer torch right down the highway in Atlanta. Every time I drive to and from Florida to Illinois, I see it. I got to do a video on it. But last one, last one. Thank you for the kindness, Mary. I know I've said last one like 10 times, but this is really the last one. Good night, Debbie. I don't have anything on Johnny Carson. Yeah, I did a video on Saddam Hussein as Maduro. I proved it, 1,000%. Just did it like a week or two ago. Go back and check it out if you haven't seen it. My dogs are gonna come attack me right now. Come here, guys. You letting them out? Okay. Sorry, the wife's taking the dogs out. So I saw one last question that I'll answer, and it was up there, but it was, what's my opinion of when I see people who so real quick example. I think this is what the question's getting at. When I say Benicio del Toro is Brad Pitt, but I see that Benicio del Toro and Brad Pitt have been in the same movie together, or supposedly like, backstage together or whatever. Well, one, AI has been around a lot longer than any of us can even fathom. A lot longer. Two, multiple people play different roles. Like super easy example about this. Like Jim Carrey played Joe Biden, but he wasn't the only one. There were other people that donned that mask. Like think of the time when he had like little ball sacks hanging from his head. So like whether it's shape-shifting or literal masks, multiple people will play roles. It's why celebrities look so different. It's not bad plastic surgery. That's the psyop they want you to believe. It's different people stepping in and playing those roles. Sometimes these people age reduce, or these people, I use that term loosely, they age reduce and then someone else takes over for them for years. Like Mick Jagger is a prime example of this. Look at my Mick Jagger video. Mick Jagger, who is now Youngblood, but original Mick Jagger is Youngblood, but Mick Jagger is still alive, just being played by someone else. They've been doing it, like think of the Beatles. They did this with Paul McCartney. That's not the one-off. That's like the bell cow. That's what they always do. They have other people play other people. So for me to see Brad Pitt and Benicio del Toro, that doesn't do anything. I'm not like, oh, I can't be right. It's that someone else is playing Benicio del Toro at that time. It's AI. Or I literally did a video showing, I made a video with a picture of me standing next to myself. And I am not, at least back then, I wasn't good at editing anything. But it literally looked like I was standing next to myself. And it took me all of 20 seconds to make. So you can't believe what you see on the internet or TV or, like, I don't want people to just believe my videos. Go do the research, do the legwork yourself, make sure what you're seeing you can believe, because honestly, the way I find most truth is by proving things are lies. If something's being presented to me as truth, but I can prove it to be a lie, well, that's where I find my truth. I haven't looked into David Koresh and Charlie Kirk, but you're the second person to tell me that, so I'll screenshot that and look. Just got French kissed by my dog. Thanks, Gimli. All right, guys, on that note, I'm officially going to go because my dogs and my wife need my attention. Much love, guys. Thank you for all the super chats, the kindness, the support, and My dog's losing his mind. Hey, be nice. Come here, Harvey. Say hi to the people. All right, guys. Have an awesome night, and check tomorrow morning for my flat Earth video that I'd made for kids. I really enjoy doing it because it's for kids, and I love kids. So have a great night, guys. Much love. See you soon.